About the funniest zombie I've ever know what its marking is. It's nothing more than a parade. For the zombie series, Mark Guy was a young man. Uselessness above uselessness. All this time at home playing games with you, Lukaku. The chaotic shore house is no different. What a pigsty. Ex-girlfriend can't stand it, but had to break up. Two bored boys go to the restaurant, drunken drinking. Who would have thought that on that night, the pandemic, zombie outbreak globally. The young man has a funny face. Mark Guy had just woken up, not realizing the world. The day of destruction has come. Everyone around has changed. Become a ghost teacher in turn. Mark Guy goes into the supermarket. I don't buy Coke either. Notice the bloodstains on the refrigerator. I didn't see the staff collecting his money too. A few more dong and left. Completely unnoticed zombies are behind me. Even a ghost rushed to him. Also, thought it was begging. Sorry, I don't have change. After speaking, the daughter-in-law went straight into the house, sitting on a chair and watching TV. But what news is the whole pandemic? At this time, Lukaku's best friend said later, the garden has a girl. Hearing the girl, Mark Guy immediately stood up. But the two guys let go of the half-flirting. The day the girl still stands still. There was no such thing as being touched. Until Lukaku throws the stone. Kicked the girl. Slowly, half an hour later, turned around. The two guys at this time were stunned. Looks like she's too drunk, haha. Zombie girl rushes over too. Mark Guy to the ground. The two guys started to panic. Lukaku hurriedly ran into the house. Find something to save lives. Unexpectedly, the wife's son would hold the hole. Out of camera, this good scene is not a waste of time. Lukaku pushes out, but she are still constantly rushing in. Although the bird is moldy, it's not an easy person. Mark Guy angrily pushed the girl. As a result, she fell to the ground. The two guys were scared and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, the girl withdrew from standing steel pipe, waking up as if nothing had happened. Now, the two guys have just accepted. The situation is distorted. Turning around, suddenly, a change appeared. The ghost is unbelievable. Come on. Their mother is the best to shoot. Go to the house to rest. At this time, on broadcast television, the zombie pandemic is raging. Everyone must lock all doors tightly. But which two guys ever closed the door? Very quickly, a ghost Mark Fest has come in. I need you. The two wives shouted all the things. Threw it at the ghosts. But it doesn't seem to be. Show signs of stopping. Lukaku, holding an ashtray. In the head, it will collapse. As soon as the story was finished, the transmission. The figure also guides. Only attack on the head can be replaced by a ghost. They decided to use two ghosts after the garden to practice first. Two idiots be with a box of things back, but no matter how you throw it, hit their heads. See if I have to get more things. The two guys B took out a box of music records, but when choosing a disc to throw, encountered difficulties again. This disc of HAT must not be thrown. This disc is damn Vin Hung's. Well, it's probably only Jack's disc. Nam Ku can be thrown, but just choose the group. The ghost has approached. At critical times, both of them are fast. Quickly run into the warehouse. With the tool in hand, aim. At the head of the zombie that works. Animal physics. One count. Of course, it has succeeded. After the two young men entered the house to eat ice cream. At this time, the TV says when it is replaced, the ghost bite will be infected. The two young men suddenly remembered. Upstairs, friend. Last night it seemed like he was new. Bitten by a madman. Mark Guy boldly went upstairs to check the fruit. Of course, it was true that he was afraid. Hurriedly locked him in the room of the house. Is no longer safe. Musician. At this time, my mother called and said yes. The person who enters the house bites his stepfather. Mom is stuck and can't do anything. Mark Guy immediately knew the mission is to be saved. His mother made a very careful plan. First, drive to my mother's house. Lee's zombie stepfather saves. Old mother then went to his girlfriend's house. Old, save her. Finally came to shake her to drink a glass. Cold beer waiting for the epidemic. Ending. But it's good to say. And doing it is like a nuclei. The two guys who just opened the car door, created, make sounds that attract zombies. Mark Guy hurriedly launched the car. Soaring on the road. Everywhere is a ghost when coming to my mother's house. Mark Guy comes behind his dad. Uncle was about to make a move. Suddenly, his stepfather spoke up. Making. Mark Guy jerked his whole body. It turned out that the stepfather had not yet changed. Mark Guy wanted to take his mother away from him. But the mother insisted on take him along. To this country, Mark Guy only had to take your stepfather with you. Who would have thought that the car was hit by Lukaku to distort his head? It turns out that Lukaku deliberately spoiled it so that can ride another car more beautifully. In the end, his wish was met. My stepfather's good driver. The group headed straight to your home, Mark Guy's ex-girlfriend, to the place where Mark Guy rushed into battle alone. Just like that, it's straightforward. Clean rush upstairs. Rescue his girlfriend and 2 dong. Her karma rushes out. 7 people on 1. The car is overwhelmingly tight. Wherever you go, suck the ghosts there. But on the way to the bar for a beer, my stepfather is about to transform and can't stand it anymore. Before losing consciousness, he reconciled. Years of misunderstanding with Mark Guy. Mark Guy was moved to tears, suddenly turned around. Dad, Uncle has changed. Everyone panicked and hurriedly got out of the car. But, tie a ghost in! The car is outside. There are thousands of other ghosts coming. The car that was occupied now can only walk. Best to avoid crowded streets. But, they will have to overcome the 20 more fences to come. Mark Guy shows everyone how to cross the fence. Have learned? No longer follow me. After a while, the group arrived at the last fence wall. Just cross over the fence. This will go to the bar. At this moment, the mother suddenly disappeared. Mark Guy jumps on the tarpaulin. So I went out to save my mother. And finally came back to hug a ghost. Teammates give Mark Guy a tree. The stick squeaked and stabbed it. Mark Guy wiping the pin straight with a stick. Replace ghosts on tree trunks. Turning to see 2 teammates, still standing and watching. Temporary hazard consider. As discarded. Mark Guy climbs the checkout ladder. Check the external situation. Who would have thought that looking at the face was suddenly innocent and surrounded by busy bars is a ghost like this? How can there be? Can you drink cold beer? But in the difficult to reveal the wise, take a good look at the ghosts. There is a group of people who mix tea. The whole group disguises themselves as zombies, acting very roundly, deceiving the ghosts without knowing anything. It is true that the main danger place is the safest place, but at the door of the bar, to receive. The door is locked. They can't go back. Moreover, the Rompy are also paying attention. At the right time, a phone crisis of Lukaku rang the bell, and his wife sat casually, go down to listen to the phone. Mark Guy frantically threw his phone away. Teach your friend not to have. Make noise instead of ghosts. Is cursing aggressively, girlfriend. Old patted him on the shoulder. Sure enough, a 10 km radius of zombies was. Mark Guy attracts here. Immediately smashed the window. Oh my god, I want to change it all. Ghost in the end. At a critical time, Mark Guy stood up to collect, sucking instead of paying attention. He just finished going through the ghosts. Invite them to follow him away. Far from saving people, when everyone enters the restaurant, Bar knows that he still wants to, replacing Mark Guy's position at the helm, but the ex-girlfriend firmly believes that Mark Guy will return alive. In her eyes, Mark Guy was useless. Angry people grab food. Precious throwaway. Suddenly a hand reached out to grab it. It was Mark Guy who saw Mark Guy become about his girlfriend was extremely happy. In the evening, everyone has nothing. It makes me sit in my groin. Mark Guy decided to go. Power supply for watching TV. Convenient to open the power outside the door. It doesn't seem to be okay. It's not good. Looks like they want to rush in here. Mark Guy hurriedly told everyone, don't make noise. Who would have thought that Lukaku inside was playing slots? Loose slots, falling like, want to cross the earth. It seems that it is all too late. Zombies have sealed the house in place of the demon owner. The bar came out of nowhere. The music also involuntarily sounded moist. Mark Guy told Pitt to run away, stamping the power switch. I will stay full. Deputy to the owner of the bar. But Pitt is a useless thing. After a few actions of squeezing a teammate's girl, the outside of the door is turned into a dance. The zombie team swing flying field. Inside, Mark Guy is still struggling with the owner. The friend helped launch a dart at the head again. Mark Guy finally had to force his head, replacing the ghost in the music player. It's true that comrades are as stupid as cows. At this time, Daima lost control. Launch an all-out attack. Mark Guy intends to change the defensive position. Then he found out that his mother had been bitten. While everyone is very heartbroken, Pitt picked up the gun again. Intended to shoot Mark Guy's mother, he immediately picked up the bottle of wine and challenged him. Lukaku also protects you. The whole group just gave the dance. Chi enters and controls each other. Pitt also confessed that he wanted to seize Mark Guy's girlfriend. But when everyone is still arguing, the mother slowly stood up, get up completely transformed. Mark Guy could only swallow water, eyes holding a gun and squeezing. There is a Pitt that does not forget to pour more oil on the fire. Mark Guy angrily gives him a Pitt punch, held a gun to shoot Mark Guy but ran out of ammunition. He asked to open the door again. But before it was time, it was flooded. Instead of the ghost breaking the door and dragging it away, the ghost replacements at this time through the defensive box. All the puns complaining into the bar. 3. Impossible. Prevent them. Our army was swept to the end. Lukaku was unfortunately bitten by a zombie. The two of them hurriedly jumped into the bar. Luka also ran over in time. They light fires to form a fence. Ambient fire deters zombies. But they went around again. They hurriedly opened the cellar door and hid downstairs. But when he was still conscious, Lukaku wanted to shoot himself. The two friends said goodbye to each other for the last time. When the flood of ghosts complained, it was also the time. The two of them took the elevator upstairs. But the above situation, not very positive. When it is too critical unexpectedly, a ray of light shone in. The army promptly hampered to be fully armed. They don't stop firing bullets at the ghosts. The two were finally rescued. Unfortunately not allowed to drink beer. Exactly according to Plan 1. Years after the zombie pandemic has been controlled. Because zombies are capable of going without eating. So they are regarded by man as labor. Even part of the Running Man program. My guy and his ex-lover live a happy life? Every day he would go down to the basement to play games. Okay, but playing games together. Dear friend Lukaku, today's movie is over. If you find it good, please post, sign a channel to support me. Bye-bye. Leave a comment below.
If you love movies as much as we do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, share it with fellow film fans, and drop your hot takes in the comments.